to our viewers. The year now is 2026. The calendar has flipped again. The years go by quickly, it seems. I think we've turned into our parents and our grandparents on how we talk about how the time gets away from us. But anyway, you are watching On Deck with DeRo and Arch. I am Eric Drossett, and alongside of me today is Darren Archer. Darren, good to see you.
Yes, happy 2026, my friend, and hope you had a great holiday season. I know I spent mine with family, and most days I was at a basketball game. So I think we played 7 games over the break. So we had a full tilt during the Christmas holiday season, and kind of glad to get back to some normalcy.
Sure, sure. Our Christmas break kind of sounds like they mirrored each other because I spent quite a bit of time in the gym as well, and the rest of the time was trying to catch up with grandkids and my own kids and things like that. So, but yes, it was a great holiday season, and normalcy, whatever that is has returned. In the sports world, a lot going on. Most of this show is going to be dedicated to football, I think, both NFL and college. But I do want to sort of reference a route that we're going to go down very soon in the fact that college basketball is heading in probably into their conference schedules, probably at all levels. They are right knee deep into their conference schedules, which means in most cases they play 2 days a week. It's pretty structured. They're playing a Wednesday, Saturday set or a Thursday, Sunday set, something along those lines. And so, uh, conference, I always love the conference season, high school all the way to Division One. I think it's just makes for some intriguing matchups and rivalries and all those things. So down the road, we'll hit college basketball pretty hard. In the meantime, we're going to start today with football. Usually we start with college. Today I'm going to start with NFL. Uh, this weekend, 6 NFL matchups. I'm going to kind of just throw these out one at a time, and if you have comments, throw them out there, and if you don't, we'll move on quickly.
Sounds good.
First one I have down is the Rams versus Carolina. You and I have referenced before sort of our respect for the Rams and the way they seem to have been super consistent, have a lot of weapons, a lot of options. They've sort of avoided the up and down rigors of the NFL season. You like the Rams in this one?
I think so. Gosh, this time of year, it's just so hard to tell. Weather plays a part.
Yeah.
Location, obviously, home field advantage usually plays a part. The Rams have struggled a little bit as of late, the past couple of weeks, and it'll be interesting to see if they can bounce back.
Yeah.
But I do think I like them moving forward. Yes.
Okay. Second game I'll feature is the Packers and the Bears. This is time tested, tried and true NFL football right here. Just doesn't, in my mind, it just doesn't get any more NFL than this matchup. Packers Bears. Bears kind of seem to have the magic wand at the end of the game with the Packers. What are you thinking on this one?
I agree with you. I think that they've kind of got Green Bay's number, so to speak, in the way
Yeah.
that they won that last matchup. Um, you know, being down whatever they were, it's been a couple weeks, but to come
Right,
back
right.
and win that game the way that they did, I think I give the edge to Chicago. But at this point in time, you can't count anybody out, and Green Bay will have their ears pinned back and probably left a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth the way they lost that last matchup at Chicago. So I don't know. I just feel like Chicago's kind of got that mojo going right now,
Yeah.
and they're finding ways to win. And Caleb Williams is kind of throwing that offense on his back, and they've they've kind of got the magic potion right now, and
Yeah.
I like Chicago.
Yeah. I'm kind of there with you. I believe that's in Chicago.
It is correct.
I would have, yeah. Either way, it's going to be, I would guess, just ridiculously cold. So it doesn't matter
Yeah.
where it's at. It
Hey,
doesn't matter where it's at. I'm not going. So
right. It'll be cold to an Eskimo up there, buddy.
yeah, I'm going to watch that one from the comfort of my living room. So
Absolutely.
I have no desire to sit out and watch it. But
Right.
anyway, I do think it's got potential to be a one possession or one score type of game where maybe the last team with the ball wins it type game.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, obviously, but it kind of feels that way to me. Third one I'm going to highlight is the Buffalo Bills and the Jaguars. Thoughts here?
I'll never bet against Josh Allen.
Yeah,
He is
yeah,
awfully talented, and there's been some kinks in the armor, obviously this year with them, and
yeah.
their defense is a little suspect. But anytime you've got Josh Allen on your team, it's tough to bet against a great quarterback like that.
Yeah. Putting you on the spot here. I mean, if you were starting a franchise right now and you had the pick of any quarterback in the league, is he your guy?
QB1, absolutely,
Yeah.
without a doubt,
I'm
no hesitation.
yeah, he's awfully good. So moving on, the fourth matchup is, and I think this one is perhaps maybe the most balanced matchup. 49ers and the Eagles. This one intrigues me. I do believe it's in Philadelphia. Uh, so 49ers Eagles. What are you thinking here?
I think that's going to be an absolute war.
I do
That's
too.
what I
I
think.
do too.
I think whoever can win the battle in the trenches probably gets the win. No telling what the weather is going to be like this weekend in Philly, and I would say Philadelphia is probably hoping that it is cold, wet, miserable, and snowy.
Yeah.
That's going to be an awfully tough place to play for San Francisco, but I've got to I've got to give the edge to Philly in this one, although
Yeah.
I think it's a toss up.
Well, and hey, you and I have said this a million times on the show. We're not football experts, but Saquon Barkley, like he has not been the 2025 Barkley was not the 2024 Barkley, and may not necessarily all be him. I mean, there's a ton of factors that go into that. Um, I do think Eagles are going to have to throw it to win it. Like I think, and hey, I may be wrong, but I think 49ers will key on Barkley, and they're going to make sure that he doesn't get back in rhythm, and so and hey, we saw Jalen Hurts last year win ball games with his legs down the stretch in big games. So maybe that's how they get their rushing attack. I don't know, but I feel like I feel like Hurts is going to have to throw the ball down the field a little bit to win this. So not saying he can or won't, but it's kind of got that vibe to me. So great matchup, and you're right. The weather will be a huge factor in this one, in my opinion, as well. So. Fifth matchup of the NFL playoff weekend is the Chargers versus the Patriots.
I've got to go with the Patriots.
Yeah,
Their defense is just too stout.
yeah,
Um, Drake May's had a great year. They're balanced offensively and defensively, and I think this is I wouldn't say a sleeper team. Obviously, they've had a very very good year, but this is the team that could really make a run and get to the Super Bowl.
yeah. I agree. Last matchup of the weekend, interesting one for sure. Texans and Steelers. Texans defense is tremendous, like
Very,
tremendous.
yes.
I do think Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, he has this incredible ability to just find possessions that make sense at the time. Like I just always feel like he's keeping his teams ahead of the sticks a little bit. He's willing to let the punt game do their thing and play for the next possession. I don't feel like he ever gets spooked or scared and feels like he's got to win it all right now in the early third quarter. Uh, so I think that matchup intrigues me in the fact that Rodgers can manage tough defenses has proved that often, and the Texans are really really good defensively.
Yes, and their edge rushers are probably two of the better. I don't want to say the best, but two of the better in the NFL. And if they can give Rodgers a little bit of time to make his reads, he may have some success at picking apart that defense. But that's an awfully tall task to ask an offensive line. to keep those two edge rushers off their quarterback, because
Yeah.
nobody's been able to do it up to this point.
Yeah. If you had to pick one, who you got?
Houston,
Yeah.
just from the fact that I think on both sides of the football, they're probably a little more balanced. Um,
Yeah.
Defense is a lot of times what will win you games this time of year, and I've just got a lot of faith in Houston's defense at this point in time.
Yeah. Should be a great weekend. Just a
It's
great
always
weekend
fun.
of NFL. Yeah. So, I mean, might be my favorite weekend of the playoffs. Honestly, I love these early games, and it will be odd for Kansas City not to be around in the playoffs. Oftentimes, they haven't played on the first weekend anyway because they've
Right.
been a first round bye team. But just for them not to be in at all is different territory. But nonetheless, I like the matchups coming this weekend. Let's stay football, but let's switch to the NCAA. Two games coming up, basically the Final Four, if you will. Um, we're recording this show on a Wednesday, so the games actually take place on Thursday, Friday, tomorrow and Friday. So first one, I believe, on Thursday night is Miami and Ole Miss. We couldn't have picked that one at the beginning of the year for
Go
sure,
kid.
but a fascinating matchup for unbelievable amounts of reasons. But I'm just going to throw it out for conversation to start with. Miami and Ole Miss.
Well, you take a look at the two teams they had to get through to get to this point, Ohio State
Yes,
and Georgia.
yes, yes.
That's pretty amazing in itself. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's your last two NCAA FBS
Mm,
champions. Um,
yeah.
did Georgia win it 2 years ago? I think I may be wrong on that, listeners.
You and I were talking about
Please
this
feel
the other day,
free
and
to.
I don't know
We were at
we've
the house, yeah, and I couldn't.
yeah,
Matter of fact, I looked it up. But anyway,
yeah,
long story short, I think Miami's defense and their balanced attack with the running game and having an experienced quarterback who's been in this spot before with the Beck kid, I think I've got to give the edge to Miami. Now, sentimental me would love to see Ole Miss get to the championship game, and I'll let you know against two in our next section. But
right.
I think it would kind of be a storybook ending for both programs to meet in that national championship.
Absolutely. And hey, I've referenced this before, and I think you agree with me. I just I understand to a degree the Lane Kiffin hate that's out there, but on the other hand, I while I might not always agree with him, I don't disagree with his right and his willingness to chase other opportunities. Like for that reason, I don't understand the hate. If there's other things that rub people the wrong way, then so be it. But I mean, I don't think he's doing anything that you and I or the players that play for him, like those players leave all the time towards the end of the year. So, and hey, maybe I'm in the minority here, but I have a hard time relating to the Lane Kiffin hate.
Yeah, and it's primarily coming from anybody that's outside the LSU fan base,
Right,
basically.
right.
And I don't think Lane Kiffin is given two rats behinds what other people are thinking. He's taking, he's looking at his bank slip for the automatic,
Yeah,
uh, you know, uh, withdrawals and what have you going in and out. And that's the last thing on his mind. He's trying to build a national championship team. And this is a very important time for him. I think it's shown a lot of class for him to allow his offensive coordinator, who is coming to LSU, was with him at Ole Miss, is going with him to LSU. He's allowing him to stay on and call the Ole Miss game tomorrow night, or as listeners hear this, last night.
right.
And I think from that, he could he could become everybody's enemy and said, "Nope, you guys are on
Right.
your own," but he didn't. And I think at the end of the day, he still cares about those kids that played for him and are in this position, and good for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 90 million reasons why I could take that job. I mean, like, and, and give me the same opportunity, or you the
Hey,
same opportunity, or my neighbor the same, like
yeah.
90 million
Give me
reasons, right?
give me 2 million reasons. I'm gone.
Yeah.
See ya.
Like,
Bye bye.
so I think people take the human element out of it, like $90 million, man. Like,
Right.
you're crazy if you turn it down, I think. So
Yeah.
anyway,
It only means you got 180 million if you turn that down. You know
that's
what I
right.
mean?
That's right. That's right. Anyway, I'll get off the Lane Kiffin topic, but
You bet.
I just have trouble relating to it a little bit, I think. So the second NCAA matchup, which will take place on Friday, will be Oregon and your University of Indiana.
Yes.
Tell me, I don't know, you can go with your heart on part of it, or you can go with logic on part of it. Just kind of throw some things at me here.
Well, as a native Hoosier and a son of the Show Me State, um, by fortune, I guess, I've this is weird territory for me.
Yeah.
When you talk about Final Fours in Indiana, back when I was growing up, that was Bobby Knight and the Indiana Hoosiers basketball team, and it's just odd that Indiana beat Alabama the way that they did. And
Yeah.
DeRo, you think about this. Did you ever think that Indiana football would be better than Alabama football? Number one.
Yeah.
And did you ever think that Alabama basketball would be better than Indiana basketball? I mean, this is weird times we're living in,
Yeah,
buddy.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, couldn't even remotely predicted that.
No, not
Um,
5 years ago, two
no,
years ago.
so yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It does speak to not to take anything away from the coaching that's apparently just been fantastic at Indiana, but just the parity and the balance in both those sports, and the ability to get kids that are ready now, and so Alabama basketball is like they've just gotten kids that are ready, win ready right now,
Right.
because they're available. You can go get them. So yeah, I think it speaks to that parity in both sports. But yeah, we would have never guessed it. And you mentioned even 2 years ago. I mean, think about if we're having this conversation 20 years ago.
Oh
We
gosh.
wouldn't even have thought it. Like wouldn't even have thought it. So
No, no, not at all.
uh, tell me how much, in your opinion, that for those that don't know, these two teams played early in the year.
They did
Um,
play. Yes.
so, like, tell me how much of a factor is that? Does that how much motivation does Oregon have as a result of that loss? Like, is there bulletin board material there, or does that previous matchup really not have any value to speak of at this point in time in the season?
Well, I think it's got to have value.
Yeah,
Um, Indiana went to Oregon and beat them by 10. And to be honest, I watched that game and it seemed like a lot more than the 10. It just seemed like Indiana kept Oregon at arm's length the entire game,
I
uh,
agree. Yeah,
from the opening kickoff. And I think there'll be a little different tone to things. Both teams showed what they had. They played every card they had in their hand at the time. But smart coaches, and obviously both of them are. They're going to keep a couple bullets saved in their back pocket in case their gun runs out. And I'm guessing they're probably loading those bullets up right now. And
yeah,
I just think it will be a good old fashioned Big Ten, low scoring, defensive minded type game that may come down to whoever has the possession last.
yeah,
It is within field goal range, could have a shot to win.
yeah. If you had to pick one, with your logic and not your heart, who do you have in this one?
Boy, this game, I'm going with Indiana, honestly, and
Yeah,
not that I've been skeptical. I wouldn't say they backed into a win against Ohio State, the Big Ten championship, but they had a few breaks with
Right.
some missed field goals by Ohio State that they didn't necessarily have to make their own breaks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, to win that game.
Yeah.
The way they controlled the game against Alabama, that I think woke a lot of people up to just how good Indiana is. And a lot of people talk about their offense. Mendoza's the Heisman winner, and America's darling right now. But it's that defense, and man, they are good. And Cignetti is from the Saban coaching tree, and approaches the game the same way that he did. And there's just not much bells and whistles that go off with him. It's just, hey, let's get to work, 4 yards in a cloud of dust, and let's get right back at it next snap. So I think Indiana from this past weekend made a believer of me.
Yeah, I agree. You and I didn't talk about this off air, so this is off the cuff, truly. Does the winner of this game win the whole thing? So Oregon, Indiana, are they clear favorites in your mind, either one of them, to beat the other two teams that are remaining? So Miami, Ole Miss.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great question. I don't think so. I don't think so. Anybody that can beat Ohio State the way that Miami did, you better not count them out. I'm telling you. I don't think you can. No, I think I think we're going to see 3 great football games over the next couple of weeks to finish off this year's FBS. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. One thing I don't see is I don't see Indiana beating Oregon the way they beat Alabama.
No.
I just don't see it. And I'm not saying that Oregon's better than. It's not a comparison between those two teams. I just think I think Oregon's, they're ready to go. I mean, they do. I think they do want to, that previous game early in the year. I think they want to sort of bring that to the table and show that they're not that team now that they apparently were then. So I think I'm with you. I think it's got potential to be a fantastic game. So
agreed.
I'm just going to hit this just briefly, and I didn't get all the way into this a little bit, but I'd like to down the road in my own research. I started to look into some NIL like policies, procedures, like what are it seems lawless and ungoverned. Okay. Like by all accounts, that's the conversation that goes on.
That's a great way to put it.
And maybe that's the case, but there's got to be, you and I both know there is some structure. There's a legal manual that's this thick, right? Somewhere that people have to use. One of the things that I found interesting is that athletes are required to disclose to their university all of their NIL deal endorsements. So if they get an endorsement with a company, or if Foot Locker wants to sponsor them or give an endorsement, like they do have to disclose that to their university. I don't know what difference that makes. It makes sense, I think. So there's some facets of NIL like that I think I'd like to get more into as it goes on. These figures are thrown around of, what was it? Washington quarterback. It was signed for $4 million or something like that, and now has re-entered the portal just in the last couple of days. I don't know if you saw that story or not, but
no, I have not. Yeah,
something along those lines. If my facts are wrong, but the context is right. He'd already re-upped with Washington, and then I think the figure was $4 million, and then sort of had this change of heart and entered the portal. Wow. Which in my mind, maybe I'm wrong, but in my mind, he thought he could get 6 somewhere else or something. Right, sure. I mean, that's the premise that we would all sort of see out of that situation. But NIL, confusing. I don't know much about it, and you may. I'm bringing this to you. Do you know more about it than I do in that regard?
I honestly, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I've said this a million times. It almost seems like the wild, wild west when it comes to uh, those type of situations when it involves an athlete and money. And I think there have been so many lawsuits against the NCAA that they've just kind of stepped back and said, "Hey, have at it. Do what you got to do. We're staying out of it. We've lost a bunch of money in legal expenses and lost lawsuits, and
Yeah.
they've probably paid millions and possibly even billions of dollars in court settlements from former student athletes
Yeah.
that won their case in court. And now you're starting to get it. It's kind of running a full circle. You're getting universities that are suing former athletes that
Yes.
did
Yes.
not uphold their end of the bargain, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is, they're not contracted workers.
Right.
So it's created a legal quagmire of gray area because the rules are so relaxed that the NCAA's got a huge problem on their hand right now. And it's not just in football, but it's almost like the common sense type things. Like, why do you open your portal on January 1st when there are still games left to be played?
Yeah.
Why are you allowed to interview coaches while they're still actively coaching? I think if they could set some dates and reel some of this in, just the craziness would be somewhat accountable. I wouldn't say accountable, but I mean, make a little more sense to average Joes like you and I. But I think the NCAA is staying as far away from it as they can for fear of losing more money from lawsuits.
I agree. I mean, I think I'm with you. I think NCAA sits on their hands. I don't blame them. Like, I think it's the right thing to do in a business sense for them, but I don't think they make any significant policy changes or endorsements or anything of any significance for a very, very long window. And I don't know what that is. If that's 3 years, 5 years, I don't know what that is. But I think they're going to let some of this dust settle on these cases that are hanging out there. You're right. They've lost a ton of money through the years. Charles and Ed O'Bannon and all that, started back in those days, and it's come all the way around. But you brought up something, sort of this tampering topic is kind of what you were alluding to. How talking to athletes and coaches outside of windows, and hey, are there really windows, and all those kinds of things. I will give the NFL and even Major League Baseball a little credit. I think they do a really nice job of eliminating a lot of these tampering type topics. And I think they swing heavy when somebody does it. Like, I think they put people in their place in such a way, hey, they're losing picks or whatever, right? I mean, they hit them where it hurts. And to be honest with you, I am really surprised that tampering isn't a bigger issue in Major League Baseball and NFL football. Would you agree with those comments?
Absolutely. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Hey, you get caught tampering, you're getting a hammer brought down on you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hate to say this. I know we're a Missouri sports-based team, but the St. Louis Cardinals 4 or 5 years ago, I think, may have lost some draft picks due to tampering. And so, I mean, that hurts. That hurts.
Yes.
If you're losing draft picks, that's a cycle that you can't get back.
Right.
So I think if there's some teeth behind the rules, you take care of the issues.
Right. And hey, that harkens us back to 5, 10 years ago when universities would lose scholarships, right? You got
Oh
caught
yeah.
outside of the rules, and hey, you went from 10 scholarships to 7 or 8 or whatever it was, right? And so, um, and
Well,
now,
you think back to SMU. I mean, their
yeah,
football program got the
right.
death penalty for much, much less than what's going on today. That I mean, it's
We
crazy.
actually, I actually, on this show, we actually talked about SMU last year, and the total amount that Eric Dickerson was like, it was around $60,000 total.
Right.
Like he was getting like $850 a month or something, right?
Yeah.
like it just seemed, and they gave him the death penalty out of that deal. So just completely different day and time.
Yeah.
Before we get off the NIL topic, I am going to reference the Calipari interview. If you haven't seen that, it was a good interview. He didn't present anything really new or different, but one of the things he really pushed for was this 5 year window eligibility. You know, you want to play 3 years, you got 5 years to do it. If you want to play 4 years, got to get done in 5 years. And once you know, if you start that window at 19, you're done 5 years later. And so, um, I, and that's sort of how it used to be. But I do think that's a good school of thought to try to get these, guys that are 26 or whatever,
Well,
not
in
playing,
college,
playing.
yeah, college basketball has a whole different set of problems because now you've got universities that are bringing guys in that were playing in the G
Yeah.
League and signed
Yeah.
NBA contracts. Things didn't go well for them there. Now all of a sudden they're
Yeah.
it just and I think he was alluding to that. It's like, what are we
Yes.
doing?
Right.
What the
Right.
heck is going on here? A guy can go
Yeah.
sign a pro contract and play for 3 or 4 years, play overseas, play in the G League, maybe get some time at the NBA level, and hey, come on back, let's play some college ball. And
Right.
it's mind boggling.
It is. It is. I did. I mean, if viewers, if you didn't see his interview, I think it's a good listen, and then you can sort of formulate your own opinion from there. He also was very, very supportive of, hey, you get one transfer for free. So if you want to transfer out, that's a freebie,
Yep.
or you can transfer if the coach that brought you in, if he leaves that school, you can opt out as a transfer as well because you went there in part to play for that coach. So I thought those were great points that he made, and again, those aren't new earth shaking points. Those are things that kind of existed previously, but good listen. I'd encourage you to check it out. The last thing I'll touch on here with this topic is, and I think you've got a stat as well. I saw something the other day that said of Division II athletes, 30% of them, of the people that enter the portal, 30% of them find a new home. 70% don't. Um, Not very good odds. I know it's a popular thing to do and it's trendy, but if you just think about it, like 30% success rate, it's not very good.
No, no. I saw a statistic the other day that as of right now in Division I football, the FBS Division I level, there are 4,500 student athletes, football players that are in the transfer portal, and that accounts for 31% of all football players at the FBS level. I mean, it's a third of all players at that level are in the transfer portal.
And I said earlier in the show, if I had 90 million reasons to do that job, I would. But it's hard. Like it's got to be really hard to be a head coach right now at the NCAA level. It's just you can't build teams, you can't build programs. Uh, you know, there's paychecks involved. Like the job's got to be incredibly difficult. And and you and I have referenced this before, especially in basketball, like some of those older coaches that they just don't do it anymore. It's just not worth it to them, and they're just dropping out. But anyway, we could talk NIL for forever and transfer portal, all that kind of stuff. But it's my goal to sort of over the next couple of months, maybe to get to understand it a little better. And that way I'm just not randomly talking about stuff that I may not know anything about. Which is maybe what I do here every week. I don't
know. Guilty as charged.
Love it. All right. It is time, Coach Archer, for our Hold'em Fold'em segment. I've got 3 scenarios for you tonight. They're all football related. It's just 'tis the season, I guess. And then I'm going to segue off of one just to sort of create some drama. The first one, Hold'em Fold'em. If the Steelers lose this weekend, Aaron Rodgers will have played his last game in the NFL. Hold'em or Fold'em. If the Steelers lose, he's done.
I'm going to go Hold'em. I think he is.
Wow.
I think he is. Yeah, I don't know why. I just think he is. I really don't have a good explanation for that, other than I think that the Steelers could move on in a lot of different ways outside of just maybe their quarterback.
Yeah.
And it may be time for a complete stripping of the bed, so to speak, to throw the linen out on the line. So I would be surprised if he's back.
I think that's a great point. I hadn't thought of it from that point. I mean, he's not going to start over with somebody in Pittsburgh again. Like if the other pieces stay pretty fluid, I mean, I think he would. I don't know, might consider it, but if it's a changing of the guard, I don't see it. I don't see him starting over. So that's a great point.
DeRo, the last 2 weeks, the 2 names that keep popping up have been Harbaugh and Tomlin. And Harbaugh lost his job by a missed field goal. And I'm afraid Tomlin may lose his job by a missed field goal, so to speak.
Right.
You know, in reference to they probably shouldn't have won the game last time for the missed extra point. It's going to be interesting to see what Pittsburgh does.
Yeah, for sure. Next Hold'em and Fold'em is Travis Kelce is the topic. And this is a 2-part Hold'em Fold'em.
Okay.
The first part of it is Travis Kelce has played his last game in the NFL. The second part is Travis Kelce has played his last game as a Chief. Ooh.
I'm going to go Hold'em on both. And here's why I say that. I know that he released a statement, I think, within the last day or two that mentioned something about if his body can recover, that he will try to give it another go.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is French for my body's not going to recover.
Yeah.
I've done this for 13 years. I don't have to do it anymore. And Taylor Swift's going to be my wife, so why would I?
Right. They got more money than God himself, don't they?
I think he's cutting bait and he's going fishing.
Yeah. Well, here I'm going to throw this out.
Okay. Let me ask. What do you think?
I think maybe he's played his last game as a Chief. I would say that more strongly. I think he could be persuaded situationally to look at another team on maybe a one-year shot at another ring.
Similar to a Rob Gronkowski type.
Yes, he went to Tampa Bay, right? Yeah, with Brady.
With Brady, yeah.
And I'm going to throw out 2 sort of landing spots for this.
Okay.
And hey, I have not heard this anywhere that like this is just one guy talking.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm gonna save the most intriguing one for the second one. The first one is the Patriots. I think Kelsey's a cold weather guy. I think he excels in the cold weather. I think the toughness that the Patriots sort of have right now with Vrabel and all that, defense is a priority for them, and hey, they pride themselves on physical play and all that. I think Kelsey sort of fits that mold.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think a phone call from Vrabel to Travis Kelsey, that phone call I think is received differently than most that he would get. Just that respect level. Okay.
Sure.
Again, I don't know either one of them, so heck, I may be wrong. But so that situation, maybe a 1-year deal, maybe they limit his snaps, through early season, keep him healthy, blah, blah, blah. You know the story. The second scenario that I thought of might just rock the Chiefs world. I can see him fitting in the Denver system a little bit.
Oh my. DeRo, you went there.
I did go there. But
you're right.
Hey, yes, right?
You're right. Yes. I mean, gosh.
Hey, and I think he played for Sean Payton.
I'm trying to think, is it Noah Fant that's there tied in?
I don't know that. But the fact that we don't know.
And that's what I'm saying. Right.
May tell us something, right?
Exactly. It's exactly right. Wow.
So here's where I'm going with that. I think if Sean Payton picks up the phone and calls him, I think he listens.
Yeah.
All right. So
interesting times ahead.
If I'm not around next week when it comes time for the show, there's a Chiefs fan that's got me in their basement somewhere. So
just remember, it was at DeRo _ on deck, not at Missouri _ sports that said that, folks.
Yeah. So anyway, pay attention if I go missing. So
okay, I sure will, brother.
The third hold 'em fold 'em. I think this one's pretty easy. I don't think there's much attention to this one. The Ravens parted ways with John Harbaugh this just in the last few days. 18 years in the Ravens system, coached some of the best defenses that we have seen in our lifetime. I mean, guys that were incredible at their position, like best of the best at their spot. D linemen, linebackers, D-back, like the whole bit. They had some dudes. He's gone after 18 years. So the hold 'em fold 'em is John Harbaugh will be a head coach in the NFL in 2026.
Oh, that's a hold 'em.
Yeah, all the way, right?
I think so. Yeah. Obviously, he may have a change of heart, but I mean, he's born and bred into a football family, and that's just the way they're wired. And he'll be back in. Yeah. He'll probably have several choices, to be honest.
That's what I think too.
He's on everybody's giant.
Does he end up a giant?
I think there's a very good possibility. Yeah. Very well could.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Be interesting to see. I mean, we talk about weather all the time, but I mean, I can sure see him. I can see people that are cold weather teams. I mean, I think they would go after him. He knows what that's like.
I think warm, cold.
He's been there, done that.
Yeah, he's going to have choices to make.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be interesting to see where he lands.
For sure. Well, Darren, I think that's all I have for tonight. I've probably succeeded in making the entire Chiefs Nation mad. So that was not my intention, but I think I did it. So anyway, it was hard enough for Chiefs fans to lose to the Broncos this year anyway. And then they're the 1 seed and
right.
You know the drill. But anyway, if Travis Kelsey is wearing the Broncos jersey next year, you heard it here first.
Heard it here first. That's correct.
Well, that's all I have for this week. Any other thoughts before we get out of here, Darren?
Nope. Just hope that everybody's New Year's off to a great start. And once again, we want to thank everybody for joining us, listeners, viewers. We'll be on every Friday morning at 9:30. You can catch us on any of our social media outlets, Missouri Sports Network, Twitter, Facebook, X, YouTube, Instagram. Love having you and appreciate your support.
Absolutely. Viewers, thanks for taking time out of your week to spend a little time with us. If you have any thoughts or information or stats or anything that you want to push our way, please reach out. We would love to see those and talk those through on the air. So without further ado, for Darren Archer, I am Eric DeRosset, and we are signing off this week. You have been watching On Deck with DeRo and Arch. We will see you next week.
This has been a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network. Thank you for tuning in.